Zoos are a contentious point for many in the world. A lot of people don't even like the concept of zoos. They think that animals kept in zoos are out of their natural habitat, aren't given the space or care that they need, and are often neglected. Well, I personally am a fan of zoos. Zoos when done right. Having been a few times to the San Diego Zoo, I'm a big fan of the Calgary Zoo, even the Panda Zoo just outside of Chengdu in China, are all wonderful examples of world-class zoos. Now, we are here in Tbilisi, Georgia, and on the list of things to do in the city is to visit the Tbilisi Zoo. So of course, we went, Google reviews, looked it up, and it has mixed reviews. So we thought, why wouldn't we come here to the Tbilisi Zoo and check it out? Should you come to the zoo? Is it a good zoo? Is it a rough zoo? Are the Google reviews accurate? Is it worth coming? Does it feel good to come? Kind of what's it like? What's it like? So today we're visiting the Tbilisi Zoo to either recommend to you to visit it or so that you don't have to.
I am made to be free.
Like so much in Georgia, it starts with like an abandoned theme park. What is it with Georgia and like abandoned theme parks? I just don't get it. They're always so creepy. Not a confidence-inspiring entrance if it's an abandoned theme park with just a ton of empty buildings around. Maybe we've reached our first couple enclosures here. Let's see. Hey, buddy. Are you a part of the zoo?
Hi! Oh, he's so cute!
Okay, are you gonna be our zoo guide? Show us all the best places. Come on. First exotic exhibit is raccoons.
Trash pandas.
Trash pandas. I didn't think that they had such a limited range, but they're just North American. They were like everywhere. So that makes them exotic. There's one, he's like all like, blip. So we're gonna go try to get an angle on him. He's a cutie. So far we've seen a very cute raccoon and a dog. so far it's okay. The baboon, yeah, they are cute. These baboons are cute. Now the enclosure is actually decently sized. It's just devoid of any greenery at all. They have a couple of really big trees in them, but obviously they can't let them climb them because they'd be able to skip out actually like really easily. But I think this is sort of just like a general theme here. It has actually a really good size. It's just the enclosure lacks enrichment in it. There's quite a few of them. Me and Stacey were just talking if there's too many. I think with enough enrichment in there, it would be just fine. Actually, quite a nice enclosure. It's big enough for sure. It needs the structures and the games and the things to play, the enrichment in it. But it's not like a super tiny enclosure, which is nice to see actually. There's no information at this enclosure. So I used Google Lens and it came up immediately. This is a Barbary macaque enclosure. It's Europe's only monkey and they don't have tails. It's just because the nature of the reason why we're shooting this video at the zoo. I was like, why don't they have tails? We're like, what happened?
Where did the tails
What the fuck did they do with the tails? Barbary macaques don't have tails. This enclosure is a little bit nicer. It's got actual like greenery in it.
We just got a big rat.
Oh good, there's a rat in there to keep them company.
There's lots of babies too.
There's lots of babies here. It's the exact same thing. Like the enclosure it's not a small enclosure. It's a big enough enclosure for sure. It just needs more in it. All of this to say, of course, I am no zoologist, I'm no animal expert. It's just I like look and I'm like, oh, that animal looks happy. This enclosure looks big enough. I mean, I know like the natural range of all animals is huge and almost no zoo in the world, even the San Diego Zoo, cannot give animals their natural range. Of course, But that's where the idea of like providing enrichment in the enclosures is, so that the enclosures themselves kind of emulate the mental stimulation that a large range would provide, maybe. And here's a porcupine that you can like touch. Here's the petting zoo.
No.
Here's the petting zoo. It's a porcupine. Like guys, the path. Look at this.
Just boop them. But
Okay.
I won't.
No, you shouldn't. One, don't touch animals, and two, it's a porcupine. Why can you get so close? Look at the encrusted porcupine. Anyways, you probably shouldn't be able to get this close.
Yeah, it's a little close.
Tbilisi Zoo. Make the fence a little bit higher. You can't
have holes.
touch your porcupines. This is the greenest enclosure yet, but there's nothing in it. Over here is a ramp that went into this big pool at one time. Now it's filled with turtles. Look at them all. This would be a very nice enclosure. It's right by the entrance. It must have been maybe the sort of like the crown jewel of enclosures here at one time. Filled up with water, and then the animals could come down into this fenced area here. But now it's nothing but a turtle habitat. Well, it's tons of room for the turtles, man. Turtles probably happy as a clam. Oh yeah, I wonder what was in here. It's quite the enclosure. And this would be like a really good one. It had structures in the green area, a swimming area. It looks like rocks and all that stuff. Like, this would be quite a nice enclosure for a medium dog-sized animal, but I don't know what it was before. Oh, look, a Ferris wheel. I was looking in here, wondering what enclosure this is. It's so full, it's so green. I thought, oh, what a lucky animal. I don't think there's anything in there. We're at the Lemur enclosure right now. And it's actually like not a bad enclosure at all. Yeah, it's got lots of things for them to actually climb on, unlike some of the other primates. It's green inside. The only thing this could probably use would be a little bit of space, a little bit of separation, man. Oh, Jesus, everybody with a kid comes here to like try to like touch a little lemur tail, because they come right here. Right? Like, I could touch it if I wanted to, but I'm not an idiot, so I won't. But this enclosure, all it needs is some like maybe like fruits, things that they have to like work at to eat. For a little enrichment, but it's actually not a bad enclosure. Look how close it is. Hey, buddy. And they have this like closed off area too, maybe where they sleep and stuff like that. Yeah, he's just so close.
So this here is a deer enclosure, and then over there is the goats, but this guy got in. He escaped from his own and got next door. That's so funny.
Wow, good for him.
Oh man, that's funny. We almost just got splattered by hippo poop. That was a close call.
Too close to animals. Right here, if we rotate slightly, you can go stand like right here, and the hippo was right there, and he was like doing his tail flapping, his poop going everywhere. He had to like, I ran away.
Yeah, it was scary. So these newspaper clippings here are explaining how the hippo escaped in 2015 and like was running around the streets.
These are all the articles from all over the world.
Oh yeah. And I guess like someone got killed by the hippo.
No. Tigers got it.
Oh, that was
Tigers
different.
and lions
Sorry.
and stuff got it. It was when the zoo flooded in 2015. A bunch of animals got it. But here's getting the hippo back.
Yeah. Very interesting.
There was rumors during the Calgary floods in 2013 that the hippo got into the river.
Oh, maybe that happened here.
This is the enclosure for a white rhino. It's like I could pet the freaking thing. I think some concerns here are safety concerns more than others. You can be concerned about the animals, but Watch your kids, man.
There's another goat on the other side that escaped, and it's in the rhino enclosure. That's probably not as safe. So this rhino has some donkey friends in there with him. No idea why. Hey, buddy. Oh, don't spit on me, please.
Here at the elephant enclosure now, this is the first, I think, truly sort of grim enclosure, actually. There's 2 elephants for this space. It's too small. It's obvious it's much too small. The size of the elephant is quite large. I think if zoos are gonna have a problem with enclosure size, it's when you get into animals like elephants. Especially animals as smart as elephants. These elephants are probably hurt. There's virtually no enrichment in this cage. There's nothing in here for them. They can stand there and eat, or they could lay down, or they can go inside. There are some zoos that work really, really hard to get really good elephant enrichment. The prime example that I can think of, even better than the San Diego Zoo, obviously like maybe the top zoo in the entire world, is the Oregon State Zoo. The Oregon State Zoo put in a wonderful, just like an immaculate elephant enclosure. That it's gigantic, it's dynamic, it's wonderful, and that's like what you require. They need more. I think that that's a fair criticism of any non-large zoo. If you don't have the money to build that type of enclosure for an elephant, you shouldn't have them. It's as simple as that. There are animals that will do just fine in this zoo. Enclosures are plenty big, if not a bit crowded for many animals here. But when you want the stars, when you want like the hits, the rhinos, the elephants, the giraffes, that kind of stuff, you can't kind of half-ass it and you still have a good reputation as a zoo. If you have an elephant, you need to be able to support that elephant fully. Well, I'm a big advocate of zoos in general and the conservation work and the work that they do around breeding programs for extinct animals. If you're a zoo and you want to house big animals, you need to have the ability, you need to have the means to house these large animals. And in this case, Tbilisi Zoo does not have the means to have elephants, and they shouldn't. You get free elephant poop here though. Just come over to these bins, it's just for free, you can just take it. Similar to the elephant enclosure, the hippo enclosure, it's a large animal, and the pen, I think you could argue is large enough, but it's fairly devoid. Again, that animal needs a little bit more enrichment in its cage, very similar to these elephants.
This one's a bit better of a enclosure for these like slightly larger meerkat type animals. And there's lots of tunnels and everything for them. I would say it's better for sure.
We're up at the we're up at the tiger and panther enclosures. They're actually like decently sized, decently large. We don't know if they're actually animals in here or not. We can't see any, but we're keeping our eyes peeled. Okay, we found them. We see them. They're back there. There's a panther back there. That means probably there's also a tiger in the other one. Let's see if we can't get a view on them. That's good. The enclosure is big if you can't see the animal.
So this lion enclosure actually has like a really decent amount of foliage in it. It seems like a decent size. They're sunbathing up there right now. This is one of the better ones for sure.
I don't mean to anthropomorphize, but that monkey seems sad.
I know. Just a bucket full of snakes. Look at these little babies. They're so cute.
The old Soviet apartment blocks below the old Soviet zoo. Just past this area is the end of the zoo. It's another section of a really ratchet looking amusement park. So having reached the end of the zoo, what are our overall thoughts on it? We have a couple. So should you come to the Tbilisi Zoo as a value proposition for 4 gel? Yeah, it's the cheapest zoo I've ever been to in my life. It's a $2 zoo.
Which might be a part of the problem.
Which could contribute to some of the issues. Should you come then to the Tbilisi Zoo as a foreigner? The YouTube cop-out is to be like, oh, here we showed you. It's up to you to make a decision. The easy way out is to grandstand for YouTube and be like, oh, never. You shouldn't even go to the San Diego Zoo. The reality is this place is really popular with families. There's families here. It's like a fairly busy place. Whether you come or not as a tourist is irrelevant to the Tbilisi Zoo. We haven't seen any other tourists.
No, I don't think so. No.
Now, everybody here is local, and the locals come. As a tourist, if you're going to come to the zoo, I think it's most important to know what you're getting into, understanding that there's good and bad in this zoo. An enclosure for an animal needs to be good, or it's completely not good. There's almost kind of no middle ground. Acceptable, good is the minimum acceptable level. If you're coming then, you need to know what you're getting into. As a tourist then, where our attendance doesn't really matter to the zoo and doesn't make up any significant portion of its income, that importance maybe lies then in publicizing and sharing constructive things. If you just go on Google reviews and you're like, this is the worst zoo ever, and I saw an elephant in a sad cage, it doesn't help. A good use of a visit as you as a tourist is to maybe post a useful Google review and like share your official things through like a submission form with the zoo to say
what needs improvement.
What you think needs improvement. You're not a zoologist. You can't say whatever, but I think submitting and sharing and making aware, because if this zoo had proper funding, it would be a totally fine, it has the potential to be a totally fine zoo. In summary, this zoo has potential to be fine. In some areas it's good, in some areas it really isn't, but it has the potential to be, it has the space to be. A lot of zoos favor animal count over enclosure quality, and I think that this zoo suffers from that. So there are plenty of things to be improved. It's impossible to give a definitive answer, a satisfying answer, should you come to the Tbilisi Zoo, without grandstanding or kind of washing it over. Personally, Stacy,
some parts of it were nice. I think a lot of it needs so much improvement, it was harder to enjoy. So that's my opinion.
I cannot articulate my position on this zoo. Is it the San Diego Zoo?
Not even close.
No, of course not. We knew that going in. Does it get the funding of the San Diego Zoo? No. What do I think of this zoo? I don't know what I think of this zoo.